Laura's youngest brother and Jim's brother-in-law. We had to use the term in-law because it was by marriage, but he was my true brother. So I wrote this whole speech. I'm probably going to go through it really quick. I usually don't speak in front of large crowds, so thank you for all being here. And I don't normally get emotional, but we're talking about my brother here, and it gets me really emotional. I often tell people that Jim was one of the most influential people in my life, one of the most influential male figures in my life. What a role model to have, right? The first time I met Jim, I was 6, so there isn't a time in my life that I don't remember Jimbo being around. The first time we met, I tried to convince him to come in and wipe my butt. So the story behind that, and Jim has told this over and over and over again. He said it during his best man speech at my wedding. He comes over to meet the family, and he walks in and he meets my parents, and then he meets my brother, and then he thinks to himself, I know there's another little brother running around somewhere. I was in the bathroom taking care of business, and then I yelled out to him, whoever wants to wipe my butt, raise your hand. And before I even got to see him for the first time, I got to hear that contagious laugh that he has. There's so many firsts that Jim was there for in my life. Jim taught me how to drive a car. We would take his little red truck, we'd go down to the fairgrounds, and he would let me putz around until one time the sheriff's department pulled in behind us. And then I think I was 12 at the time, and he told me, just look straight forward, you look like you're 16. Jimbo taught me how to drive a boat. I learned how to drive a boat on John's old glass bar up in Bodega Bay. He taught me how to fish. He took me to my first trout opener. That was the most amazing road trip that I ever had. It's one of the best experiences that I had with Jim. It was just him and I. We had borrowed Phyllis's Jeep Cherokee, which I guess Phyllis wasn't aware that we borrowed it to go up to Twainhart. But I'll never forget it because the entire way he was singing Garth Brooks, and nobody could sing Garth Brooks better than Jimbo. He also took me to my first country concert with Jer. We went and saw Travis Tritt. That's where I had my first beer.
And you were 21.
Yes. We won't go into ages there. He took me to Kennedy Meadows on a horseback riding trip. A whole week camping. One of my greatest memories. You start going through all these things that he did for me. Here I am, just this little kid, brother-in-law, and he just took me in like a true brother. He taught me how to shoot a gun. He took me hunting for the first time. He coached my freshman baseball team, and I sucked, but I only made the team because he was my coach. He taught me how to lay bricks, and that is an internal family joke. Apologize to all of you that don't understand that. Come find me after, and I'll explain it to you. But there was some times in my life where I wasn't the greatest kid. And when I got in trouble, it would have been very easy for him to turn his back on me and say, hey, that's just my brother-in-law. But he didn't do that. He took me by the hand and showed me exactly how to be a good man and move forward in life. One of the things I'm going to miss the most is having Jimbo there while I made fun of my family at holiday dinners. If you have never heard Jim tell the story about my dad trying to get on a raft in Hawaii, ultimate Jimbo story, best story of all times. I'll try to say it later, but it will do no justice. I could go on and on. The stories are endless. like I said, no matter what I was going through, Jimbo always had my back. He was there to support me from day one. To my sister and my nieces, thank you for sharing Jim with me. He was always there for me, and I'll always be there for you guys. So, cheers to Jimbo. Love you guys.